Hi, you're with India Post Live, India's first online news conversation web TV, where you too can participate. I'm Ishan Russell, and India Post Live is, of course, how do you get in touch with us? You just go to indiapostlive.com, log in and post your comments over there. You can come in via Skype or Google Hangout. You can also use Twitter, Facebook. On Twitter, you just use a hashtag India Post Live or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live to tweet out to us. Or if you want to use Facebook, go to our Facebook page and log in and just post your comment over there. We'd love to hear from you. All right, today we are talking about what in this election of 2014, one man who's been a very key figure as far as especially the politics of Uttar Pradesh is concerned, and he's been accused of many things over the years, but this time the CBI has given him a clean chit. We're talking about Amit Shah, and we're talking about the Ishrat Jahan case. So first, let's take you through the story.
This news is music to the ears of BJP. The CBI has virtually given a clean chit to the party's senior leader Amit Shah in the Ishrat Jahan fake encounter case. The investigating agency has told a special CBI court that it has found no evidence against Shah in the case. Amit Shah, who is Narendra Modi's man Friday, also heads BJP's election campaign in Uttar Pradesh. Ishrat Jahan was a 21-year-old Mumbai girl who, along with 3 others, was killed in a fake encounter in Ahmedabad on the 15th of June of 2004. CBI has filed charges of murder and criminal conspiracy against the police and IB officials in the case.
All right, so to talk about this issue, we have with us Paritosh Vyas. He's the national co-convener of the communication cell of the BJP, and he joins us live from Ahmedabad in Gujarat. Also in the studio, I have with me Amit Sen Gupta. He's a renowned senior journalist, and Sanjeev Singh, is our political editor over here at India Post Live. All right, so Paritosh, heartening news for you as far as Mr. Amit Shah is concerned. What do you make of it, or what would your first statement be?
See, CBI has finally told what everybody knew. Okay, there is no prima facie involvement of Amit ji in the so-called fake encounter case of Ishrat Jahan. It was storm-coming for 10 years that they have got evidence, and finally they now are saying there is no evidence at all. Obviously, they cannot say that we have tried to make him a victim of this. So the best thing they can say is, okay, we do not have prima facie evidence. Best way to retrieve.
All right, Amit, your initial I mean, is the ghost of Ishrat Jahan as far as Amit Shah is concerned, is it buried and gone in the past?
No, I would not want to sound biased because CBI has given a clean chit, but one is that clean chit is a partial process in this, as the clean chit on the Zakia Jafri petition, because it will go to the higher courts. Here, there are many other things like the SP Tamang report, which has completely implicated the police of cold-blooded murder, etc. But what is ironical, I would see, before we get into the discussion, is this kind of a Makbul kind of a scenario, where the blood just cannot, keeps coming back on the wall, and it will keep wiping it off in some manner or other. So sometimes Ishrat Jahan, then there is Sohrabuddin, there is Kosar Bai, then Tulsi Ram Prajapati. And it's like this Bilkis Bano and then Zakia Jafri and all this. There are 20 other encounters which are also there in the fake, some of them perhaps fake encounters. Almost 32 top cops of Gujarat are in jail. And to say, it's a kind of a dilemma to say that if suppose Amit Shah does not know what his top cops were doing when the mission assassination was was underway, and in which they did these encounters, fake encounters. So if as Home Minister Amit Shah does not know about it, or as Chief Minister Narendra Modi does not know about it, it either shows that they are innocent, or it shows they are completely inefficient. And they have no clue about what the top cops, including the Ahmedabad Police Commissioner, Additional Police Commissioner, ATS Chief, top, absolutely big guns in the police department, they are acting again and again. And they don't know about, so it also puts a question mark on the whole idea of governance which they are posing.
All right, but Sanjeev was there in Gujarat, I mean, during most of the first term, at least, what Narendra Modi had. And most of these instances were around that time, and you were there. What would you make of this? Was there enough ever to implicate Amit Shah or Narendra Modi in these, I mean, because ultimately, I think they were all statements. There was never actual physical proof or any kind of proof like that.
Yeah, you see, I mean, in such cases, it'll always be tough to somehow, get a sort of conviction or prove that, someone was actually involved, because you need proof for that. And as Amit was saying that, I'd still like to hold on to my horses at the moment, because a clean chit doesn't mean that you're off the hook. There are a lot more legal procedures involved. Like we saw in the case of Arushi Talwar, the CBI similarly had given the clean chit, but they're still in jail right now. And the basic issue is that between that period from 2003 to 2007, the 4-year period saw almost 22 encounters, 22 people being killed in encounters, and all those encounters are still under the scanner. There are still questions that have not yet been answered by the state administration. You have 6 IPS officers in jail. You have 13 Gujarat police cadre officers in jail. So there is definitely a question mark that needs to be answered by the state government. And unfortunately, for both Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, who was the Home Minister, these answers are not forthcoming. If they're still open about it, if we get a sense that their intention is honest, then perhaps we can somehow try and close this chapter and move on. But there is that sense of sort of something being hidden, which is why we hear so many murmurs about these cases.
All right, Paritosh, the point that both Sanjeev and Amit are making, you've heard them, but I just like to add something to what Amit said. The fact that it just questioned the governance model, because if you have your entire top police brass sitting in jail right now for fake encounters, that does raise a question mark about how controlled the chief minister is in the state. We seem to have lost that. Can you hear us, Paritosh? We seem to have lost that audio connection with Paritosh. Paritosh, we'll just disconnect and try to get back to you on this one. All right, Amit, but the question over governance still remains. But let's talk about the fact that it's not that easy to get convictions, especially of political people. I mean, across political lines, across party lines, whether Congress, whether BJP, whether any other party, never a politician is convicted. You can, where the buck stops, I mean, on whose desk the file stopped, you can go nail that person, but somehow politicians are never, can get away with a lot.
It's in the last phase. What has happened also in the last post Gujarat 202. In fact, it started in 1984 when a lot of media focus and documentation and fact-finding committees and independent tribunals and has done some kind of a strong, meticulous work on the ground. There have been also civil society pressure and political pressure on these cases. Otherwise, what has happened is that communal violence would happen, like Malyana 1984, people were killed like that by the PSC, or the Bhiwandi killings, or Bhagalpur earlier. People would never get convicted. Like the Shri Krishna Commission report was dumped after the 1992-3 pogrom against Muslims, in which clearly the Shiv Sena leadership was involved under the Congress government. It was not that there was a BJP government; it was a Congress government. Police officers were implicated by Justice Shri Krishna in that report. Both the Congress and the Congress NCP and the Shiv Sena BJP dumped the government of a very, very credible judge who himself was a devout Brahmin actually, and the report was called anti-Hindu and dumped by the Shiv Sena BJP combined. But over the last few years, there has been much consciousness raising, I think, and the fact that so many cases were taken away from Gujarat, and the Supreme Court also felt that Gujarat, there's justice, possibilities of justice are difficult in Gujarat, because there was, in the initial points, there was not even a lawyer to defend the survivors of the massacres which happened. The NHRC report under Justice J.S. Verma, where he pointed out on Naroda Patia, Gulbarg Society, Nahuza Gram, Panchmahal, Dahod, Best Bakery, etc. And then the fake encounters, the kind of documentation, etc. has happened. Politicians not being implicated. Amit Shah has himself been in jail. He was done Tadipar. He could not enter Gujarat. Former chief. Let us not forget that he was in jail. He's still out on jail on bail. He can again be convicted. He can be convicted. He has not completely got a clean sheet on the Sohrabuddin Sheikh murder case 1 year after the Isha Jahan murder case. Then Kausarbai's killing and her body is disappearing, not a trace found, in which also some of the similar cops were involved who were also involved in the Isha Jahan murder case, like Banjara, DG Banjara and others. And then Tulsiram Prajapati's murder, etc. Look at the letter which Banjara has written, in which he says he worked directly under the government instructions. And when he says Amit Shah, actually the letter says that Amit Shah is the man who is responsible for all the cops being in jail, and how the government, Modi and Amit Shah, has betrayed all the top cops completely who were acting directly under the government instructions. He calls Modi his God. But to come specifically back to your question, and maybe after Sanjeev speaks, we can speak. The fact is, Amit Shah had gone to jail. Modi's top minister, Mahabir Kudnani, is in jail on the another Patia murder case. Huh? All the best bakery accused are in jail. You know, Babu Bajrangi, VHP top leader, is in jail. There's life imprisonment. You know, and it is like saying that Narendra Modi did not know that Mahabir Kudnani was involved. Huh? Narendra Modi is so innocent. He does not know anything which happened. Amit Shah is so innocent. He does not know what is happening. You know, this is a little hard to believe.
All right, so Paritosh is back with us. We let him respond, but we also spoke to Gopinath Pillai. Gopinath Pillai is the father of Javed Sheikh. Javed Sheikh was killed with Ishran Jahan. He was born with the name Fanish Pillai and later converted to Islam and therefore became Javed Sheikh. He was one of the people who was killed along with Ishran Jahan, and we spoke to his father just a short while ago.
सर आपका रिएक्शन क्या है अमित शाह को क्लीन चिट मिली है इस वाले केस में?
हाँ तो वो हमने कोर्ट में केस इसलिए दिया था कि ये वंशारे का एक रस्म के बारे में आपको मालूम है, सब अखबार में आया था, अखबार में आया था। वो वंशारे साहब ने जो रेजिग्नेशन लेटर दिया था उसमें साफ साफ बताया था कि उसमें अमित शाह और नरेंद्र मोदी दोनों का अनुवाद मिला है करके, क्योंकि और उसमें पुलिस कोड में ऐसा बताया है, पुलिस साहब उसमें ऐसा बोलता है सफेद दाढ़ी और काला दाढ़ी दोनों ने एग्री कर दिया है इन लोगों को मार डालने के लिए। सिंगल साहब करके एक था, उन्होंने बोला कि एक लड़की है 18 साल की, उसको मत मारो, उसको छोड़ दो, ये बात कहीं बाहर बोलना नहीं है करके उनको छोड़ने के लिए वो भी इनकार कर दिया, उनको भी मार डालने के लिए काला दाढ़ी का और सफेद दाढ़ी का परमिशन है करके बहुत क्लियरली उनका रेजिग्नेशन लेटर में लिखा हुआ था। तो सारे अखबारों ने वो दिया, सब पब्लिक को वो मालूम है, इसलिए उसको इंक्लूड करना था, उसको ओमिट कर दिया करके हम केस दिया था।
अच्छा, तो वो ओमिशन की वजह से आपको लगता है कि क्लीन चिट मिल गया है?
हाँ, अभी तो ऐसे ही अमित शाह बच गया, अमित शाह को क्लीन चिट दे दिया जी। हमारे पास सबूत दिया था कि पहले पूरे अखबार में आया था, सीबीआई का भी फाइंडिंग्स में वो था कि इनको चारों को मार डालने के लिए ऊपर से परमिशन मिला सफेद दाढ़ी और काला दाढ़ी का, इतना क्लियरली लिखा था। और क्लैरिफिकेशन भी ये लिखा था कि सफेद दाढ़ी बोलेगा तो नरेंद्र मोदी और काला दाढ़ी बोलेगा तो अमित शाह। इसके वजह से हमने केस दिया था, मगर क्या करें बहुत लंबा हाथ है ना बड़ा साहब लोगों का।
तो आप अब अगला कदम क्या उठाने का सोच रहे हैं?
अभी पुराना केस तो अभी चलता है, अभी एडवोकेट से मेरा बात नहीं हुआ है, वो थोड़ा बीमार है मेरा एडवोकेट, वो हॉस्पिटल में होगा, शाम को 7 बजे हम फोन करता है। उनका राय क्या है उसके मुताबिक आगे केस के बारे में या क्या करना है वो भी उनसे कंसल्ट करके ही करना पड़ता है।
All right, so you heard Javed Sheikh's father over there talking to us. So just to sum it up for you, what he was basically saying was that DG Vanzara's letter was not included as evidence, was omitted, and therefore the case became weaker, and therefore that clean chit has happened. But he's saying that everybody knows who Safed Dadi and Kali Dadi, the white beard and the black beard in Gujarat are, and it's in public knowledge. And he would be contemplating legal action after talking further legal action after talking to his lawyer. Sanjeev, as far as, I mean, it's a father's cry for his son, but in terms of the legality of the entire case, where do we see it heading from here?
I think it's pretty open. I mean, it'll be too early to, say that Amit Shah is off the hook. And as far as the dadi or the beard is concerned, we know about the black beard and the white beard, but there was also a red beard because Vanjara used to like using mehendi, so his beard became red. So, and that's why, they said that the red beard is the most feared person in the police. When he was heading the ATS, anti-terrorist squad, at that point of time, he was a law unto himself. So, and to say that, all these encounters that happened, all these people had come to kill the chief minister specifically. So to say, as Amit was saying, that, the home minister and the chief minister didn't know what the top cops were doing is highly doubtful, it raises a question. And that is why I would say that, a lot of legal procedures are involved yet. temporary relief for Amit Shah. I mean, he can go because even in the elections, 2012 elections, when I had gone to meet Amit Shah at that time in his constituency, he had made it an issue. He said that people are going to take revenge for what has happened to me. I have suffered, and people will make the Congress party pay for it. And he, of course, went on to win the election handsomely. So that electoral politics has never been an issue for Amit Shah to win for the kind of politics that he has followed. But as far as the legal procedures are concerned, the legal wrangles are concerned, maybe perhaps Narendra Modi may be out of it, but as far as Amit Shah is concerned, I think he will have to struggle his way through the legal tangles.
All right, Paritosh, you've been patiently hearing this entire discussion, and the question that constantly is raised is the fact that if most of your top IPS officers have been convicted and are in prison right now, then, I mean, how can a chief minister or the home minister of that state absolve responsibility, even in terms of just moral responsibility? Forget the conviction.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead. Paritosh, I think the phone is causing a bit of an interference. Paritosh, the phone.
Chief Minister Mulayam Singh Yadav is responsible for that.
Paritosh, we cannot hear you. Paritosh, we cannot hear you. If you just keep the phone a little away, maybe the phone network is causing a bit of an interference
Can
with
you
your.
hear me?
Just speak into your device. Yeah.
Now you can hear me?
Yes, yes.
I said in the last 10 years in Uttar Pradesh, there have been 3
I'm sorry, Paritosh, we're not being able to make out what you're saying.
Ask him to speak into the laptop.
Speak into the laptop or the device that you're talking into. Talk into the camera, please. Then just keep the phone away.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was saying. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was saying in the last 10 years, there have been different reports. What is the communications of Mayawati and Mulayam Singh Yadav there? You are questioning the credibility of the questioning different in terms of the
Paritosh, I'm really sorry, but we seem to be having a major audio problem. We'll disconnect and come back to you because we really couldn't hear what you had to say. I'm sorry about that. We'll just try to reconnect with you on this one. But the kind of, I mean, the defense that he's giving, from what vaguely I can make out of, and we'll wait for him to join back and make his point. But the fact is that it's all across the board. There have been so many instances in the past that this would not come as a surprise, would it, Amit?
No, that is one of the arguments which Amit Shah also gives when they talk of other fake encounters, why they don't talk about fake encounters. But it is like saying that Gujarat genocide, when we talk of Gujarat genocide in 2002, say, what about 1984? But as a journalist, I covered 1984 and we worked in the relief camps as students and we were as much outraged and as till now, for 20 years, we have been writing against the 1984, digging for justice. And for same as Gujarat 202, for us, if an act of injustice as an objective reporting we do, we will continue to do that. So between one fake encounter or another fake encounter, we will not make a difference, which a political party uses as rhetoric. But I honestly feel that at this timing of the CBI inquiry is also slightly, CBI clean chit is also very, very strange. You might agree or...
the BJP must be very happy. I mean, it used to be the Congress Bureau of Investigation. I think that first alphabet is going to change.
Sure. In the last 2 phases when I would presume that the mythical Modi wave is not working on the ground in Eastern UP and Bihar and many other places. I guess this comes as a good news for them. But there is a perception that in many places on the ground, which I keep hearing from people, including other political parties and reporters, the administration and others start moving towards the perception that our political dispensation is changing. It happens mostly in the way the police and the local administration start moving for 4 months, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months before the elections happen or dispensations change. So I'm not fetching a conspiracy theory here, but the clean chit giving at this kind of time is kind of says that there's a lot within the administration which is already shifting its ground on presuming that the Modi might come, or even if not come, creating a level playing field with them and all. CBI is, for BJP also it's a dilemma because they've been calling it a Congress Bureau of Investigation. And it is.
I think the point that Paritosh is trying to make, that all Gujarat BJP leaders have been making, is the fact that, they always cite examples of encounters.
Paritosh, can you hear us?
Absolutely okay.
Yeah,
Please
perfect,
go ahead.
perfect. Okay, go ahead. Why don't we let you make that point? Paritosh, we couldn't hear what your response was to the governance question.
I was making a very small point. Between 2002 and 2012, take a case of UP, 350 encounters. What is the moral responsibility, or were these questions asked to Mayawati or Mulayam Singh Yadav? No. Why it's only for Gujarat? Does somebody have a hatchet to grind or an axe to grind against the Gujarat Chief Minister? Seems so, number one. Second point is, in Maharashtra, there have been n number of encounter cases and a lot of cops have gone inside. So if 22 cases have happened in Gujarat and a few cops have gone inside, what is the hue all about?
All right, and the other question,
Third point is, it really is not an election issue for us whether Mr. Amit Shah has been what do you say? How do I use that word? That the Supreme Court, the CBI has said that we do not have any evidence against him. Now, in the last part of the elections where you've got seats in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, do you really feel that the common man is interested in what happens in special encounter cases involving terrorists? No, they won't be.
well, that really depends on what their speech is.
I'd like to ask Paritosh a question. I mean, you've been saying that it's the Congress Bureau of Investigation. In fact, the BJP even went to the extent of boycotting the Prime Minister's lunch before one of the parliament sessions. So, how come now, what is your take on the Congress Bureau of Investigation? Has it suddenly become Central Bureau of Investigation?
What has happened is, certain things start deserting a ship when the ship starts sinking. Now that seems to be the syndrome out here also. I wouldn't be using that alphabet or the word, but it seems so. That is one. Number two, the second case could be that CBI doesn't have prima facie evidence as it's claiming against Amit Shah, and to save their own face, now they have come out with this, we do not have any case against him. So what were they doing for the last 10 years, when on the 14th of June, the 10th anniversary of that encounter is going to take place? So after trying everything what they had in their hook, crook, everything for 10 years, when they are not successful, what they are coming out with is, we do not have any prima facie evidence. That is what they have come out with.
All right, I just want to tell you what Gopinath Pillai had to say. That is Javed Sheikh's father. Javed Sheikh, who was Fanish Pillai before he became Javed Sheikh. He said that if DG Vanzara's letter had been included, had not been omitted, then the case would be a very different one. So, I mean, that's the counter allegation that is coming in.
I'll tell you. It is all hearsay allegations and there is no evidence at all for any involvement of the Chief Minister or the Deputy Home Minister at all, number one. Number two, I would like to ask a counter question to this. Out of the 4 people who were killed in that encounter, the bodies of 2 people were never claimed by anybody. They were Pakistanis. What they had come to Ahmedabad for? Picnic? And why were the bodies not claimed? So if a terrorist is killed, we should be proud of that. If you remember what had happened in Punjab during KPS Gill and BN Singh, a lot of terrorists were terminated, eliminated, killed. And what happened in the end? Punjab became one of the most peaceful states of India. So now what do we say?
Paritosh, I am sorry, I do not buy that argument of killing off people to just establish peace. People have the right to live, irrespective. Go ahead.
You know what? Terrorists. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, sure. He has made a point. Can I make a point?
Amit wants to ask you a question.
I salute them.
No, I don't want to ask him. Just want to.
Yeah.
No, see, you see, there are in all encounters, fake encounters are fake encounters. They are cold-blooded, extra-constitutional murders. Whether it is done in Gujarat or it is done in Batla House or it is done in Punjab, they are all extra-constitutional murders. 300 dead bodies. 300 dead bodies were found in Taran. Logbook in the logbook. Well, it is a continuous wound which simmers in Punjab's heart also. You know, there have been cases. The Batla House case itself has been taken up against Shivraj Patil as Home Minister against the government and the special branch. The Jamia Teachers Solidarity Association has waged a long campaign on the killings of those 2 people, and there is a widespread opinion thinking that it is a fake encounter. You know, so it is not simply that one is talking only of one Gujarat, or one does not talk about the human, for instance, human rights activists talk of all fake encounters as extra constitutional. Why human rights? Well, under the Indian Constitution, you cannot kill anybody, whether he is presumed to be a terrorist or not presumed to be a terrorist, or if he even is a Pakistani who has come to India. First of all, they have completely, what happens with this kind of political formations is they will take one report like the CBI clean chit and they will say 10 years it has not happened. They will not forget. But what about the SP Tamang's report, for instance, the Ahmedabad Metropolitan Magistrate reports? Clearly gives all the names of the top cops, says there's a cold-blooded, merciless murder, identifies the things within Isha Jahan's body, says it has happened between these hours and this hours on 14th and 15th. Say the 1-2 days before they were actually picked up and then they were killed. That Isha Jahan was sitting on the left side of the car and then she was shot. There was 20 cops or so who killed all those people. Now, this is absolutely, it is kind of a spectacle. It's like a spectacle which happened, public spectacle in Ahmedabad under a very, what a good governance model, and under a chief minister who is supposed to be now restoring greatness to India, and under this home minister. Well, it is not possible that you can completely absolve yourself of this kind of a grotesque killing. Then within 1 year again Sohrabuddin Sheikh and Tulsi Ram Prajapati and Sohrabuddin Sheikh cases happened, in which Amit Shah was jailed. I did not put him in jail, or none of us. It was through a legal process that he went to jail and is still on bail, and the case was transferred from Gujarat. So he has not been convicted completely, but he has got, he is one of the accused. So I mean to say that in the political rhetoric, let us not jump into the thing that fake encounters are good. When you call somebody a terrorist and kill somebody in fake encounter, it is not acceptable under the Indian Constitution. Even a terrorist has a right to go through a legal process.
All right, Paritosh, you want to respond to that?
I'll give you two answers to that. Number one, Tamang's report, the entire report, if you read, where is the so-called clinching evidence against Amit Shah? We are debating Amit Shah's getting a clean chit from the CBI today. So number one, whatever Tamang has said, that was challenged by the Gujarat government in the High Court, and finally it's gone to the Supreme Court. Number one. Number two, you're talking about the right to the life of a terrorist. I'm very sorry to tell you, tomorrow if there is a gunman standing outside your house, you would prefer it to be a cop and not a terrorist. At that time you will say no.
But Paritosh, the difference would be if there's a man sitting outside your house and you think he has a gun, does that give you the right to shoot him?
Humans? If there are terrorists, then terrorists are dealt in the way.
Who decides who's terrorist? Who decides who's a terrorist?
But is it a mob lynching kind of a phenomenon? You think it's a street side justice? Is gangsterism that you take the vigilantism? What kind of a vigilantism is this?
I would repeat again. If somebody knocks your door and a man with a gun stands outside, you would pray that he's a policeman and not a terrorist.
But these guys were not knocking. These were under custody of the police, Gujarat police. Top cops were under custody. That is what the Tamang report says.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. In Maharashtra,
he was not knocking your door. They were not knocking your door.
Encounter cases, a lot of Maharashtrian police have also gone to jail. So that is what the law of land requires. So they want to jail for that. They are in custody. Where is Amit Shah?
Why don't you understand it critically instead of taking a kind of partisan position?
Paritosh, I'd like to ask you.
What I'm trying to tell you is bluntly, clearly, the truth. And I'm sure many of the people who are listening to this program will agree with me on this.
No, Paritosh, I want to ask you a very basic question. Fine. We've all seen the movie that Lokhandwala, what is it? Shootout at Lokhandwala, where Amitabh Bachchan makes this point. But the issue
it was based on Maharashtra, incidentally.
Yeah, of course, in Lokhandwala, in Mumbai.
The issue is that if they were terrorists, why did they come there? The basic issue again goes back to governance. That there is a blot on the Chief Minister Narendra Modi for the 2002 post-Godhra riots. That is the reason that why we've seen so much of terrorist activity coming into Gujarat, and finally from Gujarat we've seen it coming all the way to UP. We saw blasts happening even at the Sankat Mochan temple in Varanasi, from where Mr. Modi is contesting an election. So it is all good to say that, okay, we would like to have a policeman over there. But if you go into the root cause of it, for a moment, don't you think that as running the state, there was some issue between what happened post Godhra to in a run-up to all these fake encounters that we saw? Does the state government somewhere accept its responsibility that it failed at some point of time?
Two things. If you look at the entire list of terrorist activities across India in the last 10 years, as according to you, the post-Godhra incidents, you'll find the least number of terrorist incidents in states which are bordering India have happened in Gujarat. The Gujarat government has been very successful in curbing this kind of activities and liquidating people who are bent upon trying to disturb the peace and kill innocent people in the
Paritosh,
state.
you're justifying extrajudicial killings. I hope you understand that you're justifying extrajudicial killings. Do you think? I mean, now that this becomes fearful for me because tomorrow you might think that I'm a terrorist and there'll be somebody saying, "I will liquidate him." Is that what we can expect from the next Prime Minister of India, as the BJP calls him?
We are saying that if a terrorist is killed in an encounter, the law of the land has taken it into
But
the...
first, let him be
notice.
convicted as a
And
terrorist.
the policemen have been jailed. You are talking about Amit Shah.
Hang
You are saying what happened
Ajmal
to Amit Shah.
Kasab,
You are
hang
giving me
Ajmal
the answer
Kasab,
to
but
that.
first let Ishrat Jahan be proved a terrorist.
I think you must have read the India Today article and the IB thing about what the FBI or whatever were telling, and then finally that was removed. And Pakistani Jamatul Dawla had initially done, okay, she's hamare beti,
Well,
she's
I
our
would,
fidain. And then they revoked their
this is
statement
a
after
this
a
is
year.
a this is a
All
problem.
that entire exercise has already been done. You also know about it. I also know about it.
Briefly, I would just
So
say
let us
this.
not get into the fact whether she's a terrorist or she's a BR ki beti. Okay.
Okay, so let's assume that they were terrorists. Then why are so many of the top cops of Gujarat in jail right now? What is the message that Narendra Modi is sending and Amit Shah is sending to the police force of Gujarat?
See, I'll tell you one thing very clearly. If you take the cognizance of the riots, if you take the cognizance of whatever the so-called fake encounters which have happened in Gujarat, the maximum number of police who have been arrested are from Gujarat. If you go to other states, you'll never find even an inquiry done.
Because
So
that is exactly the point. What Ishan is saying is
Okay,
that
and we have a very interesting comment come in. Okay, Musafir Dutt writes in that BJP is not clear with the definition of terrorist. If Ishrat Jahan is a terrorist, what about Sadhvi Pragya Thakur?
No, I was actually coming to the point when he says about terrorism.
Yes, but Shah,
No,
please
excuse me,
fight
just a
against
second,
Shah.
just a second. We've heard you. Can you please listen? That till the time Hemant Karkare actually reopened the line of investigations, it was all Muslims who were being blamed in various places for the Gokul chart, for the Makkah Masjid blast in Hyderabad, for the Samjata Express blast, for the Ajmer Sharif Dargah blast, etc. For the
Malegaon
Malegaon
kids were
double
put
blast,
in jail. Muslim
Malegaon blast,
youth were
they were put in jail. Some of them for 10 years, and some of them brutally tortured in Hyderabad and all. Most of them were released later because there was no evidence, and then the line of investigations were opened, and then they found that there is this kind of Abhinav Bharat, and there is a kind of a extremist formations formed within the Hindutva with blurred lines with the RSS, like Sandeep Joshi was RSS, and who has mysteriously disappeared, etc. So then you find that there are other extremist forces also which are Hindutva forces. As a citizen of India or as a journalist, I would not say that you kill them, do extrajudicial killings. They have to go through a process of law and justice, and they are arguing that they are not terrorists. Let it be proved in a process. You cannot say eliminate Sadhvi Pragya in extrajudicial killing. It is absolutely unethical and it is absolutely against the constitution. That's why many people doubt their belief in the Indian constitution. They actually do not believe in the constitution sometimes, I feel.
Paritosh,
Now we are coming to what the belief and the non-belief in the constitution.
Those who believe in extrajudicial killings
So
and those who it puts you in the
Amit Shah
bracket.
to Narendra Modi to Tamang to extrajudicial killings, now to Sadhvi Pragya, and now that we do not believe in the constitution.
Of course, you believe in extrajudicial killings.
you saying that somebody can be killed if it's commonly perceived that there are a terrorist.
Cases in Punjab where more than 500 terrorists were killed, and no journalist at that time or even till now has spoken out against those judicial or extrajudicial
There's been
killings.
huge
Two
documentation in
wrongs don't
Punjab.
make a right.
The country.
There's massive
So where
documentation in Punjab.
journalists
National Human Rights Commission has been
were happening in
petitioned.
Punjab,
Don't
or in Uttar Pradesh,
don't fudge
50
facts.
Encounters were held. See, you have an axe to grind against Modi and Amit Shah, so you are continuously harping on the 22 cases.
No, Paritosh, what I'm harping on the fact is, I'm sorry, I completely agree. If the CBI does not have evidence against Amit Shah, fine, let the CBI not have evidence against Amit Shah. But we cannot justify extrajudicial killings. That's not the theme of the show. But I think we need to have a show on extrajudicial killings, whether they're right or not. And I would love for you to come in and participate on that as well.
I will be there. Don't worry about that.
All right, so
Ishan,
एटलीस्ट एक दिन पहले यार बता देना.
No, no, for sure. This happened in the afternoon. That is why we called you from the voice from Ahmedabad. But on that note, we'll wrap up. We'll agree to disagree on this one. I mean, you and I have the contention as far as extrajudicial killings are concerned. As far as Amit Shah is concerned, well, the CBI has given him a clean chit. So who are we to question the CBI? If the CBI finds something against him, it'll come up. If it doesn't, Amit Shah. But does it impact the elections in 2014 at all? Final question, Paritosh. Is it an election issue for you? Will you be with Amit Shah be talking about it or Narendra Modi be talking about it tomorrow in Varanasi?
No, shouldn't be.
All right. So it's not an election issue. It's a
no.
non-starter issue. All right.
I will not be surprised if it is used for the last phase of elections, that how, make him the fall guy, or how they try to, what Narendra Modi has been playing all along, that Amit Shah can also do, because the BJP has gone to the extent of Narendra Modi saying that, I am Nichi Jaat ka aadmi, so I'd not be surprised if it is used as an election tool.
They are using every.
You can say that
They are
very
desperate.
easily,
You have said the last word.
Nobody else use that word.
Okay, they are using every card which is possible. Nichi Jati and Durga Ashtami and Bangladeshi infiltrators and they might use this to create a kind of a sentiment for that. But this is not a clean chit is not the final straw. As I told you in the film Maqbool, the blood keeps coming back on the wall.
All right. I know, Paritosh, you have a lot to add. We'll continue this chat over Twitter. Sanjeev, Amit and Paritosh will be joining me on Twitter to continue this conversation. And in case you want to ask any of them a question, please, you're most welcome to do so. IndiaPostLive.com is the name of the website. You can go there, log in and post your comments. Also use Twitter to join in this conversation. Hashtag IndiaPostLive or use @IndiaPostLive. That's our Twitter handle. Thanks very much, Paritosh, for coming in and playing the forward foot defense for the BJP right now. And we'd love to have you on the show. We'll be talking about extrajudicial killings. Sanjeev and Amit, thanks very much for coming in. Well, that's it in this conversation. Hope to join you in another one.